laboratory in which we study heart function, known as the Cardiac Clinical Catheterization Research Laboratory. And it's where we do both therapeutic, so where we take care of some problems, as well as diagnostic procedures. And a lot of people know that as things like an angiogram or another procedure in which we measure the pressures inside the heart. We put in pacemakers for people with heart disease, and we put in some specialized pacemakers for people who have a condition known as heart failure. We also have taken those types of measurements into a research program where we're able to study the way the heart works. We're able to make some new observations about how the heart responds to different types of situations. We're actually doing measurements where we're directly placing in specialized monitors into the working heart, something that requires a certain level of training, a certain level of skill, a certain level of equipment, a certain level of funding, and that doesn't exist anywhere else in this country. We see all kinds of patients here, anyone who has a heart that's not functioning normally, whether they actually feel it or not, in order to limit the damage that they have, improve how they feel with the damage. And then some people who become quite sick, we need to help them find a more permanent solution. Tony Zwig is a good example of someone we met when he came into the hospital, someone who we continued to care for after he left the hospital, someone he could come back to when he got in trouble again, to help him figure out how to get out of that trouble. And in fact, in Tony's case, we were able to stabilize his condition with medications, which we did for actually over a year. But then he became more symptomatic again with his cardiac condition. And this time Tony did need an operation, a bypass operation, to help his heart work properly.
In preparation for the bypass, I ended up getting a stroke. So the whole thing had to be put off, and I had to have the stroke dealt with, and I went to Bridgepoint, which looked after me, sort of retaught me to walk and talk, which was necessary. But I finally had the bypass just this past June.
And the operation has worked very well. He's feeling well. He just did a stress test where we continually check up on how he's doing, and he passed that with flying colors.
Sort of a message of hope that there are cures and fixes for these things, but they're dependent on a skilled and engaged group of people. And that's why it's important to help support them. The Division of Cardiology has had a long-standing commitment to women's and infants' health, as well as women's health across the lifespan, for sure. One of our members is Candace Silversides, and she is a specialist in what we call adult congenital heart disease, and these are people who are born with some sort of heart problem from birth. And because of such good care, these folks are at the age where they want to consider having families. And when those women do come to hospital to have their babies, all of us have some part in taking care of these moms. We also have a program that studies the effect of aging as both men and women grow older. And it turns out that men and women age a little bit differently, and their hearts respond differently to aging. And part of our laboratory has a major focus on trying to understand those differences. We still have so many questions to answer, so I think we want to stay on our track of being curious, but the ability to go further, to learn from our patients, to bring in innovation, to build some of the tools that we use to both help our patients but also learn and study our patients. Much of that has come from the generosity of our philanthropic community. We have dedicated a lot of the funding that we've received from donors to training graduate students, PhD students, and postdoctoral research fellows.
So Sinai is uniquely positioned for the future.